indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right. We do have a quorum this morning, so we will call this meeting to order. Ms. Iwaski, do we have anyone wishing to speak?
No, sir.
All right. Item number 1, consider and take action on minutes from previously held meeting of Commissioners Court on December the 3rd, 2019. Are there any additions or deletions to the minutes as presented? Entertain a motion.
Hearing none, Judge, I move that we accept the minutes as presented for Commissioners Court, December the 3rd, 2019.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner McCam to approve the minutes as presented for December 3rd, 2019. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 2, consider and take action on contract with the OAG for the FY 2020 statewide automated victim notification service, the Savans Grant Award. Ms. Brown.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This savings, or however we want to pronounce it, the purpose is to maintain the Texas counties and other entities in a statewide system that provides relevant offender release information, court information, promote public safety, and it supports the rights of victims of crimes. The grant makes funds available for the eligible expenses related to this service, and the services are provided through a single approved vendor, which is a PRIS, which we'll get to on item 3.
Questions for Ms. Brown?
When's the contract start?
It actually started September 1.
Okay.
They were a little late getting us the
that's fine.
information.
That's what I was, thank you.
And how much money is it?
It's actually, the services is $18,000, but we actually send invoices quarterly to the OAG, and they pay a PRIS directly. So we don't actually receive the funding.
And
We're
it's
just
not
doing
a-
the paperwork.
It's not a matching grant? Okay.
This program's been in place for how long? Number of years.
Yes.
Number of years.
A number of years.
Is this what used to be called Vines?
Yes, and it still uses the VINE, which is the Victim Information and Notification Every Day, and VINE Court. It still pulls information from those systems, so it's still somewhat interchangeable in that way.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Any other questions? If not, entertain a motion to approve with the judge's authorization to sign.
I'd like to make a motion, Judge, we approve that contract grant.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner McCam to approve the FY 2020 statewide automated victim notification service Savans Grant Award with the judge's authorization to sign. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 3, consider and take action on contract with APRIS for the maintenance of the FY 2020 statewide automated victim notification service data. Ms. Brown?
Yes, sir, and this is the approved vendor, and they configure, operate, maintain, and support the information that's provided to us and for the savings system. So they provide it all.
Questions for Ms. Brown? Hearing none, entertain a motion to approve with the judge's authorization to sign.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Thomas to approve the contract with APRIS for the maintenance of the fiscal year 2020 statewide automated victim notification service data with the judge's authorization to sign. All those in favor? Item passes. Thank you, ma'am. Item 4, consider and take action to set a public hearing to proceed with permanent vote center status for future elections held in Henderson County. Now, our elections administrator, Ms. Denise Hernandez, is a little vocally challenged today. So, would you care to have someone else speak for you?
Yeah, Jessica. No, I'm not going to do that. You're just excited because I can't argue back.
Yes, ma'am.
We kind of like it. We're enjoying this.
Yes, I bet you are. Well, this is just a public hearing that we're needed in order to keep, in order to get approval for successful status on vote centers, and so that we can continue to use vote centers in the future. I believe that we want to be able to set this public hearing for a week out, so that we can go ahead and submit them, or so that you can go ahead and submit a letter to the state requesting a successful status.
This is a part of the process to finalize. The state was here observing
Yes.
our constitutional elections so that they were able to see we're implementing correctly. You have gotten feedback from our actual poll workers and even a questionnaire to many of the voters
That's correct.
that was collecting data, and it was overwhelmingly in support of. This portion that we're doing here is crossing the T's and dotting the I's by having the public hearing so that anyone else in the public that has an opportunity to speak.
Yes.
I spoke with our county attorney, who said that, most cases we'll go 2 to 3 weeks on setting a public hearing. In this particular case, there is no statute requiring that. And for the timeline, we'd like to set it for 1 week for our next court session. Are there any questions that anyone has of Ms. Hernandez?
After the March election, will we do this again? This is the final.
It's only required after the first election that you hold.
I got you.
And so that's why we're doing that right
Okay,
now.
all right.
We won't be
won't be
having to
doing it.
have public hearings in the
thank you.
future.
Yeah. After the March primary, the Election Commission, Henderson County Election Commission, being our county clerk, tax assessor, collector, myself, and the 2 party chairs, will have a set meeting to discuss what happened during the primaries.
Right.
We'll do that over the next year, each time, to see that we are well informed and that everything is going well with the elections.
Very good.
Anyone else?
I think this is a great move for the county. I hadn't had anything but positive feedback after the constitutional election.
Yeah, I believe it is the best thing for the county. As you can see by our numbers, it kind of shows us where they're going to go. I know that we're discussing possibly renting additional pieces of equipment for the future elections.
I know that generally the constitutional election is notoriously low,
Yes, sir.
and our numbers were way up.
Oh, yeah. 11.33%.
I think that was because of the voting centers, I think.
Well, one thing that was very apparent, and it will come out during the discussions earlier, was that this past constitutional election was somewhat of an anomaly in the fact that it was up 500% from the previous constitutional election. And there was a lot of discussion. There was because of the vote center with the information going out, it actually flipped the turnout. Normal elections are 70% early voting, election day 30%. Well, in this constitutional election, it flipped it. It was 30 early and 70% on election day.
Yeah,
So-
we had those voters that wanted to come in and test the system and see how it was going to work.
Yeah. So hopefully it will follow that trend.
Yeah.
Anything else? If not, let's do a motion to, what do you say, 9:15 on
17.
the 17th? Sound good?
I'll make that motion. We set a public hearing for the voting centers at 9:15 on December the 17th, 2019.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Tooley, to set a public hearing for permanent vote center status on December 17th at 9:15.
Thank you.
All those in favor? Item passes. Item 5, consider and take action to reappoint 2 members of the Emergency Service District Number 1 Board of Commissioners for a term of January 1, 2020 to December 31, 2021, located in Precinct 1. Commissioner Thomas?
Yes, Court. The ESD located at Trinidad has got 2 board members that would like to continue on the board for ESD 1, located in Precinct 1. They've done a great job, and they're doing exactly what I like for them to do. They're meeting like they should be, and everything's going good. The 2 that I like to reappoint for the ESD 1 is Henry Evans II and Rick High, and that's ESD 1. If there's any questions about those 2, I'd be glad to answer.
Questions from Commissioner Thomas?
Okay, if there's not any questions, I'd like to go ahead and reappoint for a 2-year term from, January the 1st to the end of December of 2021. Henry Evans II and Rick High to serve on the ESD Board Number 1 located in Trinidad.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Tooley, to reappoint Mr. Henry Evans II and Mr. Rick High to the ESD 1 Board of Commissioners located in Precinct 1. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Item passes. Item 6, consider and take action to appoint a new member to the Emergency Service District Number 1 Board of Commissioners for the term of January 1, 2020 to December 31, 2021, located in Precinct 1. Commissioner Thomas?
Yes, Court, back to ESD 1. Sandra Lyles has served on that board for a number of years. She was actually the president of the ESD, did a great job, but she did send me a letter that she would like to resign and get off the board. Served a number of years, did a great job. So Sandra Lyles would like to resign off the board. And I found someone, or we found someone to replace her, and I'd like to thank her for her service because she really did good for us. But the reappointment we'd like to make, or the appoint a new member, is Mike Irwin. And Mike has got a bio in your packet. If you'll see, there's a letter for resignation from Sandra, Ms. Lyles, and also the bio for Mike Irwin. And he is very well qualified. He's ready to serve, so I think it'd be good if we appointed Mike Irwin for the same 2-year period, January the 1st, 2020 through the end of the year 2021. If there's any questions, we'll...
Questions? Entertain a motion.
Okay, here's the motion then. We're going to appoint Mike Irwin for that 2-year period beginning January the 1st, 2020 to 2021. Mike Irwin will be that appointment.
I'll second that appointment.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner McCam, to appoint Mr. Mike Irwin to the Board of Commissioners for ESD 1 for the term of January 1, 2020 to December 31, 2021. All those in favor? Item passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Court.
Item 7, consider and take action to accept the Henderson County Emergency Service District Number 10 financial statement for fiscal year 2018 located in Precinct 2. Commissioner Tooley?
Yes, Court. I think this is maybe a little behind, but the ESD 10 out of Eustis area has, this would be their first financial document that they have sent in, and they used our audit department to do their audit. And so I'd just like to present it to the court. I believe that the county clerk's office will have that after court.
Questions for Commissioner Tooley? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
Judge, I'd like to move that we accept the financial audit report for ESD number 10 located in precinct 2.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner Thomas, to accept the financial statement for FY 2018 for Emergency Service District Number 10. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 8, consider and take action to set a public hearing to close Jill Street in the Forest Grove subdivision located in Precinct 3. Commissioner McCam?
Yes, I had a call from a property owner in Forest Grove about closing Jill Street. And he owns the property on both sides of Jill Street and continuous to Jill Street. And he uses it pretty much as a parking area. And I called the POA and asked them to send me a letter saying that they were okay with that. And if you'll see in your packet, you have a letter from the landowner and also a letter from the POA that say that they have no problem with closing Jill Street. And with that information, I would like to set a public hearing to close Jill Street.
Okay.
Is there any questions? If not, I move to set a public hearing on, we are going to have court on the 31st, aren't we?
Yes, we will, a little short court.
Okay. Why don't we set it for 9:15?
Let's do that one for 9:10.
9:10.
Hopefully it'll be
I'd like to set a public hearing for 9:10 on December the 31st for the closing of Jill Street in Forest Grove.
I'll second that motion that it's New Year's Eve day. I'll second that motion.
that it be a short court.
It's a short court.
Yeah, okay. Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Thomas to set a public hearing for the closure of Jill Street for December the 31st at 9:10 a.m. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 9, receive financial reports. Thank you, sir. In our backup, we have reports, the donation report from the Henderson County Animal Shelter and the reports for JPs 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These will be available for viewing to the public in the county clerk's office after the meeting if you so wish to see them. Item 10, consider and take action on payroll distributions and accounts cash sheets.
Judge, I have no payroll for today and no cash sheets.
Thank you, sir. Item 11, consider and take action on submitted contracts.
I have no contracts.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 12, consider and take action on requests for right-of-way permits.
No writing.
Thank you. Item 13 is consider and take action on submitted budget amendments.
Yes, we have budget amendments. I believe y'all have a copy of those.
Any questions on the budget amendments that have been presented?
No questions, Judge.
No question.
We are removing precinct 2's budget amendment.
Okay. These are cleanups, basically, starting to clear up the 19.
2019.
Do I-
Yes, for 2019.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
If there's no further questions, entertain a motion.
So I move to approve, Judge.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner McCam to approve the budget amendments as presented. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Item passes. Item 14, consider and take action on payment of bills.
Yes, Court, this morning I have bills for the last 2 weeks, and it totals $482,940.28.
Commissioner Thomas, any questions on the bills?
No, sir, I have no questions.
Commissioner Tootley?
I have none.
Commissioner McCann?
I have no question.
Hearing no questions, entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second his motion, Judge.
Motion made by Commissioner Tootley, second by Commissioner Thomas, to approve the bills in the amount of $482,940.28. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 15, consider and take action on submitted plats.
Precinct 1 and all these paid.
Yes. Court, what I have is a replat. It's located in Dixie Isle. This lady approached me several months ago about dividing up some lots or setting some lots into a bigger lot, smaller lots, and they were really small lots. She couldn't do anything with them, and she wanted to replat those, and she wanted to give them to her children, and she wants to have them in order so that they could be, for her children, could be split. There are several small lots. She's dividing the smaller lots and making it into bigger lots. And they're lots 24R and 29R are the two lots that will be what they're going to be called from the old lots. All the signatures are here, I believe, on all the copies. They've all been signed off by Tarrant County, the 911, Joy Kimbrough, and our emergency management. I think they're all there. I think everything's in place.
Questions for Commissioner Thomas? If not, entertain a motion.
Any questions, Court? Then I'd like to approve the replat located at Dixie Isle for lots 24R, or made the new lots will be 24R and lot 29R.
For filing purposes only.
Yes, I'm sorry, for filing purposes only.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Tootley, to approve the replats, creating lots 24R and 29R in the Dixie Isle Section 1 subdivision. All those in favor, for filing purposes only? All those in favor? Item passes.
Thank you, Court.
Thank you. Item 16, open and consider bids.
Good morning. I have two to present today. The first one is bridge construction materials. The deadline to submit was yesterday. The court wanted to kind of get this one pushed along so that we can make sure that we get these materials before the end of the year. We had one response from the railroad yard. So I just need approval from the court to accept this.
I believe this was specific.
Yes, specific items for
Okay.
that precinct 2 was needed.
Commissioner Tilley?
Yes, these materials we're going to construct or had sent out to construct 2 bridges. And we were told by the audit purchasing that we would need to secure this by the end of the year. And so we're okay to move forward with this bid.
Okay. And the bid is from
The railroad yard.
Railroad Yard? Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tootley, second by Commissioner McKim to approve the bids, the bridge bids from the Railroad Yard. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Item passes.
Okay, the second one is for the 2020 culvert bid. We received 5 responses, one of which is a new vendor that we haven't used before. And then one vendor has now actually opened a location here in Athens.
Which vendor was that opened the location in Athens?
National Wholesale Supply.
Have we ever had what is that, APSCO? Have they ever bid before?
No, sir, that's the new vendor.
That's the new vendor.
They're in Kaufman?
Yes, sir.
What page is all of them on? Oh, there it is.
Is Ricky LaPrade, is that a new one, or we had him before?
We've had him
Have had
before,
Ricky?
yeah.
Okay.
He's not a long time vendor,
Yeah,
but we've
right.
had him for the last
Okay.
couple of years.
One thing that will be a first that I want to point out to the court is on the steel bid portion, we have never bid out steel before. These are what we commonly would call the tank cars,
Right.
in the larger sizes.
I would like to see us accept all of these bids. Some of these companies are closer to some of our precincts than others. And then, the prices range, but, when you add the drop fees and the pickup fees and everything else in, they pretty much come out the same.
I agree. I think it gives us some options. There's a couple of them I'm not aware of, not used them. I looked at the prices. They're a little all over the place on some of the bigger pipes, the bigger culverts. The smaller culverts are pretty close, most of them.
Before we move too far, when they say steel, are they talking about corrugated or are they talking about steel?
Steel is what we put on the bid, so that is what they bid.
I'm assuming-
Corrugated
I bet they're
metal.
talking about corrugated.
Yeah.
That's,
I mean, we can go back and
no,
clarify if that's what you want to do.
We need to move forward, but when I was making reference to steel, I was making reference to 3/8 thick, 1/2 inch, 5/8 thick
Right.
tank cars. And I wanted to be sure that we were under the understanding that this is either we're approving it as corrugated or we're approving it as steel. And that needs to be noted now, so when we go, arguments can be made in the future. I read it as corrugated. And I'm assuming that's what they did, except, yes, I'm assuming that's what they did.
Well, they're all close to the same, so I would think so too.
They are, but there are other vendors that are
Right.
cut out
Exactly.
that have been very competitive over
Right.
the years,
Right.
if it is not just corrugated.
Right.
we know how thorough our purchasing department is.
Could we verify if that's steel or corrugated and bring it back next week?
Yes, I mean, that's.
And all we need
up
to
the
know
board.
is if that's steel pipe or corrugated. I'm thinking it's corrugated.
Yeah.
It'd be better if we knew and then bring it back next week.
Okay,
Okay,
not a problem.
thank you.
Thank you.
Item 17, consider and take action to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner McCam to adjourn. All those in favor? Item passes. Thank you all for being here today. We really appreciate you coming.